All right, guys, what is up? Hope you had a nice spring break and you're ready to get back to work. Today we're going to be graphing trig functions. So I'm going to do the sine of x. Okay, I'll show you kind of, how to get the graph of it. And then I'm going to let you guys do the cosine of x for homework. And then tomorrow we'll do the tangent of x and we'll explore some more ideas and stuff. But for right now, we're just going to do the sine of x. And we're going to use our unit circle. And I don't have my unit circle with me right now. But that's okay. I pretty much have all the values memorized. Okay. But if you look at your unit circle, it will help you. Okay, so what I'm going to do to graph this, I'm just going to make a t-chart. Okay, watch this. I'm going to actually make a really long t-chart. Okay, so here's my x values and here are my y values. Okay, all right. So let's just start off with 0. Okay, if you look at your t-chart, I'm looking at the point 1, 0, and let's just talk about when x is 0, okay? And basically, what is the value of y, okay? So basically, when the angle is 0 degrees, okay? When the angle is 0 degrees, okay, what is the y value there, okay? And you should look on your unit circle. When the angle is 0 degrees, your y value is going to be 0, okay? All right. And then the next angle that we have on there, and remember, we're doing the sine, right? Okay, so it's. I know on your unit circle you're going to look at the y coordinate for the sine, but that doesn't necessarily mean the x here and the y here, because here the x is the angle, okay, and the y value is going to be the sine of that angle. So in this case, you are going to look at the y coordinate. But when you're doing the cosine, you're still you're going to use the angle for the x's, but then the y value is actually going to be the x coordinates, if I'm not being too confusing. Hopefully not. So let's look at the next angle measurement on our unit circle. Now I know it's 30 degrees, but we're going to use radians. Okay, so that's going to be pi over 6. Okay, pi over 6 radians. And what is the sine of pi over 6 radians? Okay, should be 1/2, right? Or 0.5. Okay, I'm just going to put 0.5. All right. Then the next one we have is the sine of the next angle measurement on our unit circle is going to be 45 degrees, or pi over 4. Okay, and if you look, that's radical 2 over 2, but I believe that is 0.707. So I'm just going to say 0.7. Okay. All right, and then if you look at the next angle measurement, we come across pi over 3, which is 60 degrees. And that's radical 3 over 2, which if you use your calculator, that gives you 0.86. Okay, so I'm just going to go 0.8. Okay, doesn't matter. 0.8, 0.86, 0.9, whatever. Who cares? It's not going to be that big of a deal. Okay, the next angle measurement is 90 degrees, or pi over 2. Okay, pi over 2. And that gives you 1, right? The sine of pi over 2 is 1. Okay, and I'm just going to make this really long here. Okay, and then the next thing we have is, what is it? 2 pi over 3? 2 pi over 3. Okay. All right, and what is that? Oh, darn it, I don't have my calculator anymore. I took all my stuff back to school. Let's see, 2 pi over 3, what is that? Oh my gosh, my mind is blank right now. What is going wrong with me? Let's see, isn't that radical 3 over 2? So that's also 0.8, okay. All right, and then the next one is 3 pi over 4. So 3 pi over 4. All right, and that's going to be radical 2 over 2, which is 0.7, okay. And then the next one is, what is it, 5 pi over 6. So 5 pi over 6, and that is 0.5, that's 1/2, okay, and then the last one is pi, okay, all right, and that is 0 again, okay, all right, and I'll let you go ahead and do the next angle measurements all the way down, okay? I'll let you guys do this. Now again, you're not gonna have to do this really every time we're graphing the sine. There's definitely shortcuts, but I'm just trying to kind of build you guys up so you can see what's happening here, okay? And then after a while, we're gonna memorize this, but this is more just kind of like an introduction, okay? All right, so then what do we have after this? We have 7 pi over 6, okay? Let me just list it this way, it'll make it easier, okay? And then we have 5 pi over 4. And then we have, let's see, 4 pi over 3. I think that's what it is. Yeah, 4 pi over 3. Okay. And then what do we have? 3 pi over 2. Okay. And then 5 pi over 3. Okay. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pi over 4. Okay. And then 11 pi over 6. And then 2 pi. All right, so hopefully you guys found those angle measures off of your unit circle, okay? Again, I'm sorry I don't have mine, but again, I have mine memorized, but all you have to do is look at your unit circle, okay? And if you have your unit circle filled out, this just happens, okay? So what is the sine of, when I take the sine of this angle, 7 pi over 6, okay? I'm thinking it's gonna be -1/2, right? So negative 0.5, okay? And then what about this guy? Should be negative radical 2 over 2, so negative 0.7, so negative 0.7. All right, this guy right here should be negative radical 3 over 2, which is negative 0.8, so negative 0.8. Okay, and let's see, what do you have here? The sine of 3 pi over 2 should be -1, okay? All right, take the sine of this guy, 5 pi over 3, should be negative 0.8, okay? I don't know if you're noticing a pattern here or not, but I don't even have to think about it anymore. It's negative 0.7, this guy is negative 0.5, and then this guy is 0. Okay. Alrighty. So now, if I'm gonna graph this, watch this. I have a ruler, why not? I'll use a ruler, what the heck. All right, so I'll make my y-axis. Okay, and I'll make my x-axis. And I'm gonna make it a little different than you're used to seeing, okay? But here's my y-axis and my x-axis, okay? And obviously this is gonna be the point 0, 0 right there in the middle, okay? So there's 0, 0 right there, okay? And then if you notice here, we have pi over 6 on the x-axis, pi over 4, pi over 3, pi over 2, and all that stuff. What I'm going to do really quick is just break it up into this. Like this is going to be pi over 4. Okay. Actually, shoot. Well, I didn't mean that. I wanted pi over 2 right there. Sorry about that, guys. So that's pi over 2. Okay. And then this guy is going to be, if that's pi over 2, then this is going to be pi. Okay. And then 3 pi over 2, okay, and then 2 pi, all right, and then everything else in between, okay, and if you look here, I have 0, the highest y value I have is 1, so I'm just going to put a 1 right here, okay, there's my 1, okay, then it goes 0, then the lowest y value I have is -1, so I'll put a -1 right here, okay, so there's -1. All right, let's just plot some points, okay? Let's just skip to this guy, pi over 2. That's a 1, so we're right up here, okay? And then let's go to pi. That's a 0. You follow? Right? Okay. Let's go to, let's see, 3 pi over 2, that's this guy. 3 pi over 2, it says -1, so that's this guy right here. Okay. And then 2 pi is going to be 0. All right. And let's just kind of fill in the in-between. So it says pi over 6. So here's about pi over 6 right here. I'm going to say pi over 6 is right about here. Pi over 4 is right here. That's an easy one, right? So that's 0.7. So that's about right there, okay? And then it says pi over 6 is 0.5. So pi over 6 is right about here, okay? That's a sixth of the way to pi. So right here, and then it says it's 0.5, so about halfway up, right? So I'm going to put a point right here. Okay, then it says pi over 3, right? If I'm going too quick, I'm just filling in the distance here, right? Here's pi over 2. Isn't this pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3? Okay, so I'm just filling in those. Okay, look at your unit circle. It gets increasingly bigger. Okay, so I'm not doing anything crazy. All right, and it says pi over 3 is 0.8. So I'm going to go all the way up to 0.8. That's right about here. Okay, right about there. And then it starts coming down. Okay, now we have 0.8 coming down on the other side, right? 2 pi over 3 right here. So it comes down. Okay, and then it's 0.7, so right about here. Then it's 0.5, so right about here. Okay, and if you notice, we have a nice little curve. Look at that. All right, so this is what the sine function looks like from 0 to 180 degrees, or 0 to pi radians, okay? And then we just follow it along. So here's the next guy. So 7 pi over 6, that's going to be right about here, and you're going down a half. So there's that, okay? And then the next guy is down 0.7, or negative 0.7, so right about there, okay? And then negative 0.8. So right about there, okay? And then it goes to negative 1. We already plotted that. And then negative 0.8 is climbing back up again, so right about here, okay? And then negative 0.7 is climbing. And then negative 0.5, it's about halfway there, okay? And then 0, so we're back at 0 again. And then now we have this curve. Okay. All right, and now here's the main portion of a sine wave, okay? This is called a sine wave. And we're only looking at it from when we're looking at the angles between 0 and 2 pi, okay? But we can continue this way, can't we? Can't we continue off to the left? Can't we also continue off to the right? What do you think would happen if I kept going like this? Or what do you think would happen if I went in this direction, okay? Well, this thing repeats, okay? This would actually dip down, then come back up, and then like that. This is cyclical, okay? It's going to go up and down and back up, and it's going to complete this cycle every 2 pi when you're graphing the sine of x, okay? Now there will be some rules we'll follow in a little bit, but that's the main idea, okay? So I just want you to graph for your homework. I want you to graph the cosine of x, okay? So part B, you guys are going to do the cosine of x. You're going to list all these angles. You're going to come up with all these points, and then you're going to plot them on the x and y axes, okay? That's your homework. Do the exact same thing, but for the cosine, okay? All right, guys, good luck. If you need any help, you know where to find me. All right, peace.